Hey everybody, Nina Roberti is back for more Bach flower essences for this month in October. As you remember, the animals' message for this month and our practice with them is to listen. And listening can take a lot of different forms and a lot of different shapes. But as you remember from the video that I did at the very beginning of October and the subsequent practices and whatnot, this is about allowing yourself to listen, really listen with either your body, your, seeing, your hearing, like really going quiet, using the stillness from previous this year to really go quiet and listen to yourself, listen to what's coming at you, listen to what's going on, and allowing your animal to even help flag when maybe you're not listening that well to what is actually going on. Where are those emotions? What is all happening? So we're going to get some help. And that's with Nina and Bach flower essences. So she's got four this month, one that you will probably recognize, but she's going to go through all four and share with us how they can help us with different aspects of listen.
Yes, thanks, Julie. Great to be here again. So, listen. So, that was, yes, as you were saying, listen is so many different ways. Are we listening to ourselves? Are we listening to our higher self? Are we not listening to other people? Are we not listening to what the world or anyone is telling us? So, it's like many different ways that we could have interpreted this. So, basically, the first one that I chose was beach. And I think we've had this one before,
Oh yeah.
Beach,
Uh-huh.
beach. So this one is basically when it is your judgment, you're kind of critical, you're not, it interferes with what really open-minded listening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's someone that is usually intolerant, arrogant, maybe they're critical of other differences. And that is usually due to like their hypersensitivity or maybe their inferiority. They have a fear of being vulnerable. So they're more narrow-minded and judging of others. So
Okay.
when that is the case, they're not really listening to what someone else is saying or anyone else's thoughts or beliefs because they are very judging of others. You
Got
know,
it.
it's
And so they're even like, oh, sorry to interrupt you, but they're not able to necessarily hear when their negative beliefs or false narratives are coming up.
yes,
Okay.
correct, because
Yeah.
they're
And
not
listen.
listening really to their own inner voice or anything
Yeah.
else that's coming up. Correct.
Okay.
So the remedy for beach would allow to become more tolerant. It would allow for, to have a more loving attitude towards yourself, towards others. It's really acceptance of those indifferences and the imperfections. And then that way you're able to listen openly to what others are saying. And that
Cool.
is beach.
Got you.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you.
So the next one we have is chestnut bud.
Huh?
And we may have used this one. I'm not sure.
I
This
don't
one,
know about that one. I know
maybe.
chestnut, I think, but chestnut bud sounds
Well, there's a
different.
few chestnuts. There's white
Okay.
chestnut, red chestnut, chestnut bud. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think we did red chestnut or white
Hmm.
chestnut. Yeah,
Hmm.
chestnut bud. So this one is basically it's repeating patterns. So we're not learning from the experiences of our we're not learning from our experiences. So basically the pattern is continually to repeat. It's the same pattern, like because we're not listening to what that lesson is. So we're not really consciously aware of what we should be hearing. Like
Hmm.
maybe you're having the argument with the same people or you're dating the same type of person. You're just not really paying attention to what someone is saying because you're also planning maybe what your next question is as someone is speaking. So, you're kind of continuing to see the same pattern in your life because you're not learning that lesson and you're not
Hmm.
listening to what it is that you need to be learning. This
Okay.
also could be like, I mean, even someone that has learning disabilities or,
Mm.
possibly blocks. I mean, it could be someone that has chronic illnesses like migraines or acne. I know, like, I continually got a rash and when I always look at it, it's like who's really getting underneath my skin. But it could be like when
Mm.
you got like I think you remember when I had that poison ivy last year at one
Yeah.
point,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It was on my face. It just came, it was in the middle of the winter, and it was like, oh my goodness. But that's like, what am I not listening? What am I not hearing? Like maybe I don't want to be seen, or, I think that was the lesson of that, or not wanting to be seen or stepping out to be seen. But it's
Yeah.
repeating patterns. So it's kind of like someone that, has continual acne or migraines. It's like, what is the lesson?
Hmm.
It's repeating itself. So the chestnut bud, that will allow you to learn the life's lesson. So that way you're interested in moving forward. You can maybe break those karmic patterns, but then you're able to see like possibly mistakes early on, and then you're able to listen and to observe the experiences of yourself or of others, and that you are able to move forward in that way.
Yeah. What I love about that, what I'm hearing you say about that too, is that in soul level animal communication, like our animal with through a behavior, whatever that behavior, and they can even be in spirit, is
Mhm.
saying, hey, through this behavior, I'm trying to get you to realize this, that you're not breathing, that you're not paying attention to yourself, you're not taking care of yourself, whatever that behavior or pattern on yourself is. So this could back up the lesson from the animal as well as what may come out of soul level intuitive coaching when there are patterns or workarounds that are identified that we deploy to, protect ourselves, but may not serve us anymore. So these kind of help us bring those to the forefront so we can listen to what they're trying to teach us.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
amazing. Okay, so the next one is Heather. I think we've had this one too.
I think so.
Heather
Yeah.
is the needy child, the chatty Cathy. It's the person that talks and talks and talks, and it doesn't really listen at all. There have to be like that brings the conversation all amongst to themselves all the time. And it's just basically they don't hold space. So they're
Yeah.
not listening and they drain your energy because they're monopolizing the conversations. So
Yeah.
this remedy will basically it will bring that quiet the inner chatter so that will allow you to listen to others. It'll allow you to be more attentive, to be a little bit more empathetic and compassionate so that you can be a better listener to yourself and to others.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. They're all very helpful. All in the
Yeah.
ways that, yeah, to just even support and come alongside our animals or guides. That's, yeah, amazing.
And then
Nice.
the last one I have is impatience, which we've had before. I should just drink it out of it with a straw, right? Because it's like, oh my goodness. Impatience, it's someone who's impatient. It's usually someone that's a type A personality. They become frustrated or irritable. They usually move very fast and they find it difficult to listen to someone that is moving slow, or at their own natural pace. They want to like hurry it up and like their brain is moving so quickly, they don't have the patience and they become very frustrated. So this will allow you for patience and tolerance. It allows the gentleness so that you're able to allow others to move at their natural pace. And then that way it shifts you from being irritated to like a calm presence so that you are able to be more present and can listen to yourself or to others. So that's
Okay.
impatience.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I love how all this always comes together every
Yes, it's
single month.
amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all is all connected. Yes.
Yeah. And so you gave us, my husband and I, another, I'm just going to call it like elixir, different ones for how you tested and whatnot for both of us. And it's interesting to me how you don't notice, but then, that they taste kind of good too, I'll say, but you don't notice, but then all of a sudden you're like, you look back and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely. Like when we were working on sadness for me. And then even this past month, like I do feel a little bit more aware and a little bit more awake and a little not awake, like, oh my God, tons of energy, but just more aware and more balanced as we were talking before we
Yeah.
hit record. So yeah.
Yes. It is amazing because it's just it's a subtle energy that is giving you like it takes the edge off, or it
Hmm.
just like as you're saying, it brings you more centered, I believe, and more in balance
Hmm.
so that you have more clarity and you're more present,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it does bring that awareness. So yeah, so you're able to listen to each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also just want to remind everybody, depending on what your animal is going through too, these are also safe for them. It is helpful to have Nina or somebody like Nina do a reading to understand what is helpful for both you and or your animal. And she's got a variety of different tools that she uses to be able to get that info, but then it's tailored to you, which I think is also really
Yes, yes,
fascinating.
it
Yeah.
is amazing. And as
Yeah.
we were talking earlier, that when the mixture, the tincture has been integrated into your body, then you slowly like you're like, oh, I forgot to take it. And
Yeah.
that's because you've kind of integrated it and it's time for possibly other,
Yeah.
different remedies.
Yeah, which is what's been happening to me. I mentioned to you the last couple of days. I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot to take it today, which hasn't been like that. It's been
Right.
multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So cool.
Fascinating. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, they're amazing. They're just amazing,
Yeah.
it is nice because it's just something that is just very, as we were saying, it's just very subtle. So it doesn't, it's nothing that's too extreme, but you
Mhm.
just kind of like when you're aware, as you're consciously aware, you notice the slight nuances of like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I'm more present, or like, oh my goodness. And you look back and you're like, okay, I was aware and was more in tuned or listening, or however that may be.
Mhm.
It's just it's a softer, I think, way of being.
Yeah. Yeah. Softer pro and natural too. It just
Yeah, yes, yes. Well, yes,
flows.
of
So
course.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, Nina. Thanks for being here with us again this month. She'll be back next month when we hear the animals message for November, and she'll have some additional Bach flower essences or maybe more of the same. We'll see what happens to be able to support. So if you have any questions, I'll put Nina's information down below, but please feel free to reach out to her as well. We're really grateful, Nina, that you're here today.
Very grateful as well.
All
Thanks.
right. See y'all soon.